Natural resource development projects, such as logging and dams, oil and mineral extraction, coastal tourism, conservation parks, and large-scale agriculture, have been successful in generating vast revenues on an unprecedented scale across the globe. But at what cost to minorities and indigenous peoples? In its 2012 flagship annual publication, State of the World's Minorities and Indigenous Peoples, Minority Rights Group International tells the untold stories of marginalised groups who've been adversely affected by the exploitation of resources found on or under their ancestral lands. The new global report provides concrete evidence showing that, despite the wave of standard setting in international law, national legislation and corporate policies, minorities and indigenous communities around the world, from Enderoy and Ogiek in Kenya to hill tribes in northern Thailand, are locked in ongoing disputes with governments and private companies to secure their fragile rights. Afro-Colombians have been carrying out small-scale ancestral gold mining for hundreds of years in Colombia's Cauca region. But this traditional and sustainable practice, intrinsically linked to the community's culture, is under grave threat from both the Colombian government and transnational companies eager to exploit this precious natural resource.
Gentes que vienen de otras partes, ellos quieren venir a adueñarse de los territorios donde hay minería. Y si ellos vienen y nos quitan ese fruto a nosotros, que es la minería, entonces, ¿qué sería? Nosotros tendríamos que salir de aquí, y yo creo que de aquí, muertos.
In Burma, resource extraction in minority and indigenous peoples' areas has fueled army land confiscation, increased militarisation and destroyed livelihoods. 48 dams are currently under development in Burma, 25 of which are megadams. Many are located in ethnic minority areas and are in conflict zones. The dams are expected to bring revenues of $4 billion for the Burmese government. But MRG's report says the dams will not improve the lives of Burma's ethnic minorities and are proceeding without any proper consultation and without the free, prior and informed consent of affected communities. The report also considers land rights cases around the world. In September 2011, the Israeli cabinet decided to go ahead with the controversial Power Plan, which will result in the demolition of thousands of houses in Israel's Negev region and force 30,000 Bedouin from their ancestral lands and into townships. The government sees the plan as an attempt to end the long-standing dispute between the state and Bedouin. But the plan has been drawn up without any consultation with Bedouin communities and will in effect extinguish Bedouin land claims without adequate compensation. In the report, MRG condemns the government's policy towards Bedouin as discriminatory and a violation of international human rights law. These stories and many more from 2011 are covered in MRG's report, State of the World's Minorities and Indigenous Peoples. Although minorities and indigenous peoples' lands are increasingly under threat due to an unprecedented demand for the world's remaining resources, many communities are fighting back. 2011 saw vibrant protests and campaigning actions around the world, from indigenous peoples in Russia successfully negotiating a benefit-sharing agreement with oil and gas companies, to villagers in the Tibetan Autonomous Region of China pushing $300,000 worth of mining equipment into the New River in order to stop a gold mining operation on a sacred mountain peak. MRG believes that the efforts of minorities and indigenous peoples to reform the way we all pursue natural resource development could be the key to greater sustainability and more equal use of resources around the world. The future of natural resource development is our common future, and minorities and indigenous peoples have a right not only to benefit in this, but also to help determine its path. To find out more, read the full State of the World's Minorities and Indigenous Peoples report and take action to support marginalised communities. See MRG's website. Take a look at stories from around the world on our Minority Voices newsroom, or check out our Facebook and Twitter pages. you.